Good evening. Good morning. It is still morning. Good morning. In life is strange. And as I said earlier, the more you think you know, the more you find out you don't know. For so long, we've been depending on, information through media, different venues, reading this and reading that, and then one study come out and say this, and another study come out and say that. Then you find out the studies are manipulated by the people that paid for the study, and so then you just have to sit there with that like, wow, what is the truth? And so I think about, as I was saying, Father, I thank you for standing before your mother, Father. I thank you for allowing me to stand before your children. I pray that the word that I speak today is relevant in this time, in this place, and in this season. For it is in your word that states that there's a time and season for everything, and I pray this is the season for this word that come forth today. In the name of all that is holy, I pray. Ashe, Amun, Amen. So we find out, you hear this, you hear that. We first was told that a man was put to sleep, a rib was taken out, and for a woman to be made, but we found out that story is a lie. Then now they got something going around. I'm on something what's called like descendants that scatter, black thing, black this, black that. And so they got this one push that I don't disagree with about the female being here from the start. But then they say that the female created the first baby without the help of a male. Then the male came out of her, and then she shared her chromosomes with the male, the two X and XY, and I'm like, that sounds just as bad as the story about putting a man to sleep and getting a rib. And then, but we see in Genesis 1 where they say both the male and female was here at the same time. And I was thinking yesterday how I used to fall for this Cain and Abel story. But when Cain killed Abel, supposedly, then he went to the city of Canaan that was already populated. So then when you start processing information, when you start thinking about all the things that we've been taught, when we've been thinking about how controlled we have been, and truthfully, we've been walking around life like robots, because we are standing there and we'll argue about information that one can't be validated. What we know that's factual is there's male and females on the planet. And we know that a female cannot produce a child without the help of a male. So we know that it takes both male and female. So common sense is beginning to tell me that Genesis 1 have more validity to it when they say that that was both male and female at the same time, and God gave them dominion power over the earth and told them to go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. Because any other way, it don't work. A while ago, they had this argument about, it was crazy because the man wanted to be a woman and the woman wanted to be a man. So they both was going through the hormonal change therapy. But before that, they wanted a baby, so they took the sperm from the man and put with the egg of the woman to make a baby. But this how sick this society is. People really believe that that's cool. That, and they want you to participate in it, which I choose not to participate in. I would never call a he or she, and I would never call a she or he. If it was my own children, I wouldn't do it. I told a young man, I said, when God slapped you on the butt and said, it's A, that's what I'm going to refer to you as. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I'm not hating on you. You be what you want to be. But don't try to make me participate in it. Again, you have the right to choose. choices are right. But you don't have the right to force other people into your foolishness. So I think about all that, and I think about how before certain people came on the planet about 9,000 years ago, and then they even taught us as we was coming up that the earth is only 9,000 years old, when we know they've been finding human remains in Africa that date over 2 million years. And so all this thing, but when we, the great prophet Bob Marley said, take the veil off your eyes, open your eyes and realize. So I was sharing that with a guy yesterday, but Bob Marley get it from the great Yeshua. See, Bob Marley didn't come up with that. It's in the book. And the book say that the veil was rent. And when the veil was rent, the separation between God and man was ended. And so when we think that we have to be validated through other people, when we think that we only who we are, what we are because of someone else, then we make that's grave error on our part. You sisters, you are special. You are the creative civilization. Without you black women, there would be no civilization. Without we brothers, we are the seed of civilization. Without our seed, there would be no civilization. There's no such thing. The story about God put a man to sleep and took a rib. Don't ever clean that out of your hard drive. Remember, our hard drives have viruses and we flushing them out. And clean all that foolishness out. God put us together, both male and female. This is what Genesis said, Genesis 1. God created both male and female. Male and female, he created thee. He created thee, right? So when we begin to understand that or overstand it, because once you get it, you're not under it no more. You're over it because you get it. And when we begin to get it, then we see how special we all are. Now, it's okay to take the day out and say Happy Father's Day. Now, I was listening to the second reading, which is powerful, because they don't display black men as being loving, caring fathers. And I see them coming to Waffle House with their pants almost to their knee. The other day I told one, pull your pants up. He just got out of Angola. Pull them pants up. But he respect me. Yesterday we was talking, and people were saying, somebody you can't talk to them. I said, well, I do it every night. Every night I give out 4 or 5 cards to young brothers because I'm not afraid to approach them, because they are approachable. But the system wants you to believe. Remember, who owns the system? Who owns the media outlets? Who tells us that we don't like each other? Who tells us that we can't talk to each other? Who tells us that our young people are so animalistic that you can't reach them? Who tells us that? Who owns the media? Our enemy. And so, out of all the people that's been charged with any crime, and again, I don't ordain crime that's been perpetuated on anyone, whether it be a male on a female or a female on a male, because now women are just as aggressive as men. So I'm not saying what Bill Cosby done is, well, we know. But why, out of all the people that had to step down and everything, Bill Cosby, the only one that's been prosecuted? Do you ask yourself that? Do you ever think about that? Do you ever think about the why? Do we? Because Bill Cosby, if he would have got his hands, and he's still going to get it, I believe, on NBC, and then you got NBC, CNBC, MSNBC, then we can disseminate the truth, and ain't nothing the devil could do about it. And so they came at him with both barrels blasting. And we can't get on that wagon with them, saints of God. We have to stand behind our people. We all know, hell, why Hugh Hefner wasn't. We know Hugh Hefner exploited young girls for years. So you're gonna prosecute Bill for something that happened in Playboy Mansion. Shouldn't the person whose house it was be prosecuted too? Well, he's dead now. But y'all don't find that kind of funny? that the only person that's been prosecuted is a black man of some substance, of some relevance, of some power that can make a difference in the life of his people? We don't find that a little suspect. Now, again, we know, and everybody know, let's be real, and I'm not I'm not saying that is right, but everybody know when, back in the days when young women went to Hollywood and stuff, what it was. Let's just be real about it. Let's just deal with the truth here. Now, that's not saying it's good, but it's real. And it still goes on to today. We've seen it now. But this Me Too thing came out, and now it's being exposed. And I'm not hating on it, but you knew when you went there what the deal was. You was a consenting adult. Now, y'all, you see what I'm saying? So, again, it don't make it right, but it is what it is. We can't change the truth. See, the truth don't change. The truth stay the same today and 20 years from now. So now we got all this stuff going on. You got all this, all this. But again, still the only person that was prosecuted is a black man of power, of substance, that was going to bring his people into power. And what I like most about Bill Cosby is he was flying under the radar. But then he got detected. See, he got detected. And so he was offering something to us that we haven't had in quite some time, because we know that BT don't offer it to us. BT not even owned by black people no more. But even when it wasn't a avenue of substance. And so finally, we was getting an avenue of substance for us, that we could learn who we are, why we are, how things got to be the way they were. I was just writing something on Facebook. Them brothers were talking about we got to stop procrastinating. I said, brother, look, there's not a people on the planet that have the history we have. One, we the cradle and the seed of civilization. We established that. Two, is that when we were segregated, our dollar circulated 103 times in our community before it left out. You can add every other species of human on the planet and together, and it don't come to 1/4 of that. Do you hear what I'm saying? They know who we are. They're scared of us. But until we know who we are, they don't have nothing to fear. If we just stop all the foolishness, if we stop all the divisiveness, if we stop coming against each other, if we stop supporting these idiots in their actions against us, because we now are waking up. Remember, the great prophet Curtis Mayfield said a sleeping giant is no longer sleeping in bed, because they have some of us that's now conscious enough to try to wake the giant up. We've been sleeping long enough. Then you got some of us that want to blame Dr. King, because he integrated us. He fought for integration, but he ain't tell you to stop being black. He ain't say give up your black card. He ain't say stop being African. He ain't say stop being proud of who you are and why you are. He just said that I want everything accessible to you, because we great now. We could be even greater. Why? Because 99% of everything we know in this world was created by us. The black man and the black woman. Why? Because we're a team that can't be beat. They had a survey not too long ago, last week, that stated that if they took young black men and young white men, and of the same caliber, same build, they had a young black quarterback and a young white quarterback. But the white people saw the young black guys being much stronger. Even though they was the same size, they did the same job, but they thought the young black man would be more stronger. You know why? Because white people know who you are. They know who you are. So that's why we see the annihilation of the young black man. So that's why I tell our young brothers and the wife, I say, brothers, y'all be careful, because they're afraid of y'all. So don't be aggressive. When they stop you, don't be aggressive. You know, because they're scared of you. They are, because they know who you are. They know how powerful you are. So if we wake up, y'all, this morning, if we wake up and we start knowing, but not only we know, because you knowing yourself is no good to the kingdom, but you have to spread the word to our young brothers and our young sisters. And I do it all the time, and I'm sure some of y'all do. Do you know who you are? They know. That's why they treat you the way they treat you. That's why they're so afraid of you. Yesterday they had, and I posted it yesterday on my Facebook page. A white man was standing up with a sign. He said, we're not dealing with all lives matter right now. Right now we're dealing with Black Lives Matter, because it's black people, young black men and women now that's being annihilated. This was a white man said that. Now I've been arguing with DC about this for quite some time. Yeah, all lives matter later, but right now to me, Black Lives Matter, because the young black male is under attack. The young black male is like the lion in Africa. No longer he is the predator, but he have become the prey. They had two devils killed a big old beautiful male lion hanging from a tree just for the fun of it. Do we understand, or do we understand that the ecosystem need all these animals to keep itself balanced? This is why the earth is fighting back so hard. Because these people, these subhuman people, because that's what they are, because you can't treat people the way they treat people and say you human. They have to have some subhuman stuff inside of you. Because if they didn't, you would be more compassionate. And then they're like hyenas, they're cliquish, they're clannish, so they stick together. But here we go. But for us, so one of my favorite movies used to be, and I went to sleep for 2 years watching this every night, Daddy's Little Girl by Tyler Perry, because very rarely do you see the black man showcased in being a loving and caring father. But we don't talk about how many black men now are raising their children without the help of the mother. Because with all these drugs that they done pumped in the communities and all this trying to destroy us, but it really got to them more than us. And now women are not stepping up like they used to, which it wasn't right when women were stuck with the children. We need balance again, African people. We need to balance ourselves off. We need both mother and father. We need the family unit to unite as one. So when we celebrate being a happy Father's Day, I receive that only if I met that responsibility, only if I met that obligation, only if I stood up and did what I was supposed to do as a man, as a father, as a husband, and to rear my children. But you got a lot of people out here, they're gonna tell them Happy Father's Day, and they don't know how much a diaper costs, but they got infant children. They don't know how much Similac costs. You see? But they're gonna take it on with a big old puff chest. No, we got to stop celebrating people that's doing nothing. Nah, we don't throw them away. We have to educate them. And we have to bring them back up to the point that, dude, being a father comes with responsibility. Being a father comes with, is obligatory. And it don't never go away. Because once you become a father, then more than likely you're gonna become a grandfather. And you know your job don't stop. So my thing is, can we get back to where we used to be? You know, can we get back to where the whole community belonged to all of us? Y'all remember those days? Most of us in here do. When it was the community, like they say, take a village to raise a child. Where the village at? But Curtis Mayfield say, that's the sleeping giant, the village. But the sleeping giant is no longer sleeping babe. Now remember, it's a monumental task, saints of God, because there are 5% of us that's trying to wake up 90%. It's not an easy job, but it's necessary. The only way that we're going to be a vibrant people, the only way that we're going to return back to our original state of being is if we get to work waking our brothers up. Say, come on, brother. And that's what I be doing. And don't let me see a brother holding his kid. Oh, I got to go tell him. I have to go shake his hand, and I have to encourage him, and I have to tell him how proud I am to see him. And you should see how it lighten their eyes, you know. And that's what I'm saying. The very people that they have us afraid of is the very people that need us to show them some love, to show them some kindness, to speak positively into their lives. I'm telling you, I don't care how gangster they look. Like I say, fresh out the penitentiary, whatever. What can you do to me? That's what the Bible said. The Bible said a man that's scared to lose his life don't have life, because you're walking around in fear. But a man that will give his life for his brother is committing a godly act. And I'm telling you, very rarely do you meet resistance. And most of the time, their brothers will stop and talk with you. They might talk their stuff when they're walking off, but they're interested, you know, because we have to reinvest in ourselves. It's unfortunate that everybody know who we are but us. You know, I think I talked about this last Sunday, when on the lake from Elysian Field to West End, supposed to be the white side, from Elysian Field to the bridge was our side. Now the Spanish people taking it over. But that's the best side, because that's the only side you can swim on. See, we had what was good, but we wanted more. But what we created was a materialistic society. We created dependents, not creators, not developers, not, you know, people that understand that they have, or overstand they have the entrepreneur spirit inside of them. That almost everything we utilize today was made by people that look like us, with way less of, listen to this, with way less money available to them, with way less excess available to them, with way less everything available to them, but the will to succeed. That's what they had. They had a will to succeed, and they succeeded. And in that success, we see today air conditioning, we see refrigerators, we see red lights, we see cell phones. Look, NASA kept a secret for over 20 years that it was 3 black women that was really responsible for them being able to get up to the moon. See, they kept that a secret. So they don't want us to know who we are. But the information is out here. We have to look ourselves to find who we are, what we come from, and what our responsibilities are. We cannot expect our information to come from the enemy and for it to be beneficial to us. All they do, what they do, they show you a small group of black people not doing good, but all these young black people, look, all these young people that graduated from colleges as doctors, as pharmacists, and all that stuff, how much TV time you saw? How many times you saw Xavier, Dillard, and all their graduations on the news? Serious. How many times you saw them? I ain't see them no time. How many times you saw Grambling graduation on the news? How many times you saw Southern? How many times? But you saw, I'm sure, LSU. I mean, do I just look at the wrong channel? I mean, maybe I'm not looking at the same channel y'all looking at, but that's all I saw. And I say now, all these young people, and then you know another myth? Another myth is that they have more black men in prison than in college. That's a myth. That's not the truth. But again, who we getting this information from? So we have to start encouraging our young men in particular, but our young sisters too. Because it's a young sister have a vested interest in a man knowing who he is. Because that's who's going to be her nurturer. That's going to be her protector. That's going to be the one that provides for her and her children when she can't, when she's pregnant and shouldn't be working. When she stay home to nurture the children until they get to a reasonable age. Now, these children going to nursery at a month old, 2 months old, because the young lady got to get back to work because this stuff all messed up. Rat race. You're right, Doc, and that's what I tell them about the rat race. Get out of it. Get out of the rat race. Let's go back to when things were simplistic. You know, we thought, and I remember being a part of that conversation, like, I'm going to make life better for my children. Then now I question how stupid that was. Because it was stupid. Because everything we had, our parents didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have access to. I told them we had 1 pair of tennis shoes. We didn't have 10. We got a pair of skates for Christmas. We skated, and in the summer we made a skateboard. That shiny ball, we made our own slingshots. You know, we had to make our own stuff. We had to be creative. But now, everything is just there for you. Every time a phone gets smarter, it's intended for you to get dumber. You see, we don't realize how they're taking over our mind. We slowly allow them to consume us. And if we don't wake up, as Curtis Mayfield say, if we don't wake up and get it, then guess what? We are losing. And Marcus Garvey collected enough money in 1918. Now, you know black people didn't have good jobs or a lot of money in 1918. But Marcus Garvey collected enough money to buy 3 ships with. Because black people had a purpose. Barack Obama collected enough money. He started out his campaign with $2,000. They didn't even take him serious. By the time they started taking him serious, he had an Excel pass. And why? Because he knew how to energize the base. Because he took time to live amongst the base. See, he graduated. He was wanted on Wall Street, but he had other plans. So he went back to the community, invested in the community, and now his name will be in history forever. Because he understood what was needed. So what he did, his base was $5, $10. He changed the way that these people are going to campaign for the next 100 years. It didn't take a lot, and that's our thing. We think we have to all be millionaires to have success, but all we have to do is put up our $2, $3, $5 a piece and put it together and let it work together, and then we see what we can accomplish. And what they call Black Wall Street in Tulsa, the money circulated 103 times before it left the community, in the community. So it was from one black hand to another. Now, the dollar in the black community don't stay in the black community 7 hours. In less than 7 hours, it's out of there. So what happened to 103 times opposed to 7 hours? 103 days. No, times, a year plus to 7 hours. What happened? Again, I had some brothers that was really, angry with Dr. King because they said his fighting for integration caused us to fall. Dr. King fighting for integration didn't cause us to fall. Dr. King was troubled, and I showed him on an verbal interview he did. He said he feel like he integrated his people into a burning building. Because once they got integrated, the white man ice got colder. Once they got integrated, no longer was they united and together because they wanted to go. Why we always want the forbidden fruit? So when you hear that story about the forbidden fruit, that's what it was. The forbidden fruit was to want something that's covetousness, want something that someone else have that stole it from you. There's no other people on the planet that have examples that we have as a people. But most of us don't even know that. When you start asking people those simple questions, they can't answer it. Do we really know the stock that we come from, y'all? Do we really know who we are? Do we know that we don't need them to help us get out of our current situation? If we work together, put our little pennies together, that we can succeed. Not only can we succeed, we'll excel. Why? Because everything that we know is from us. So we can do this thing. They even try to put education in a way that we can't get it. The educational system. Carter G. Woodson said in The Miseducation Negro, he said the higher up in education you go, the more indoctrinated you become because all they're doing is filling you with them. Not saying that education is bad, but you have to keep your mind open even as you excel in education, because that is the goal. The goal is to make you out a slave again. So I make 6 figures, but I'm in debt out the wazoo. Why? Because I have to have a Mercedes. I have to live in a big old house. It's just me, but I buy a 4-bedroom house. I have to have an expensive car. I have to wear the newest clothes that come out. Newsflash, denim is denim. Tommy Hilfield's denim ain't no better denim than the denim you get out of Walmart. In fact, I got pants I bought in Walmart I've been having 10 years. You see? But again, I was a part of that. I get it. But I start listening, I start reading the Bible, I start asking questions because the stories that we have been told just didn't make sense to me no more. I start reading the Bible, I start listening to people like Bob Marley and other people, and then when I heard Rat Race, I said, Dad, when I heard Rat Race, I punched myself in the face because I realized I wasn't knee deep in it, I was nose deep in it. And I'm like, stupid, what are you doing? And so when I woke up, right? Because I was part of the 90% that was asleep. I woke up. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I stopped drinking. I stopped drugging. And it was like I got a raise like that. Now I'm able to save money. Now we travel. You know, we think that travel is so out of reach for us. But hell, the average one spend more money drinking beer and smoking cigarettes than we would taking 3 vacations a year. It's not that taking trips is not that expensive. It's how you shop. So, but again, they want us to think that things are out of reach for us. They want us to think that we can't have our own grocery store. They want us to think that we can't have our own hospitals. They want us to think that we can't have our own banks. That's what they want us to think. But the truth is if we pulled all our money out of these banks will be in trouble. If we took all our money out of these banks that service us not, and we create our own bank, and we bank with each other and for each other, I guarantee you we can flourish. But what we gonna say? See, we can't trust us. How many people, any of y'all ever look at American Greed? How many black people you see on American Greed? No, like 2 I saw. The rest of them is white people, but we'll give them white people our money though. We'll give them our money. But that's the ones who live in lavish on your money. But people that might mean you some good and do you well, we don't trust them. Why? Because we was taught not to trust each other. We was taught. See that Willie Lynch letter? The Willie Lynch letter, all that stuff is in it. Don't light-skinned people and dark-skinned people. Texture hair, male and female, fat and skinny. Guess what? Whatever you are, if you're African, you catching hell. Even if you have money. Oprah, one of the richest women on the planet, went in the store and the girl brought her to the discount rack because she was black. She automatically judged her by the color of her skin. And she lost her job, of course, and of course they sent her the purse. But that's the mindset that they have, because you know why? They're so stupid they don't know. Look, something I learned last week. What is middle class, y'all, in America? What's considered middle class income-wise? Huh? Okay, what you say? What y'all say? Middle class. Huh? Middle class, KP, take a shot at it. What's middle class in America? 75,000, I say it 150. What you say, Doc? 35 million. 35 million is considered middle class in America. So the truth is, those of you who've been lied to, hoodwinked, and bamboozled to think your 60, 75,000 make you middle class, you are impoverished. Well, back in the day. Yeah, but I'm saying, but not 35 million. 35 million now. So now, how many, you see? So we walking around with a distinction that don't even fit us in their system. But you could have 20,000 a year and live middle class. It's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. And if you stop running behind foolishness, dumbness, and all this stuff they keep creating and keep us distracted, and we wake up and we begin to understand. No, we don't want to understand when we begin to overstand, because you say, man, I got it now. I got it. Why y'all think I like to play reggae gospel and stuff? Because see, a lot of those guys that make those gospel songs, they ain't number slaves. They're slaving for the slave master. Same slave master them guys making the hip hop stuff that degrade us as a people. And they think because they're getting a few pennies, but as soon as they get it, the same thing is out of their hand right back into their hand. So they don't keep it, so they're not investing in the. They have enough money. They have enough Nubian people with money that we shouldn't have to go to nobody else and ask them for nothing. If we would come together like we should, if we was really because remember, we say Happy Father's Day. Well, what is a father? A protector, a nurturer, and a provider. And not just in your household. It begins in your household, but we owe that to the community at large. And if we not giving that to the community at large, then are we really good fathers? Because it's easy to be selfish. I had 2 kids up until I was 21. Then until I found out I had another child I didn't know about. So I did well for my 2 children, but did I? I was there, but was I? You see what I'm saying? Because we made to believe that because we fed them, we clothed them, we sent them to school, that we did good. But did we teach them the value of being Sankofa? Hell, do we even know to be Sankofa? Are we being Sankofa? Meaning not forgetting those who we left behind. How many of us have a Sankofa mindset? How many of us as fathers understand that we're not just fathers to our biological children, but we fathers to our communities? that we have to be fathers to the fatherless. That's what a church is supposed to be all about. Look in James 1, 26, 27. In there, it tells you that the church job is to take care of the orphans and the widows. That's what the church is for. All that other stuff is just, lies perpetuated by your enemy. But if we was looking out for those who need to be looked out for, we will make a much better community. We wouldn't have the crime we have. Remember, they set it up for crime because they know who's going to commit crime. The needy. But who give them the stuff to commit the crime with? Think about it. How all these drugs get in America? I ain't got no ship. You have one? I don't have no plane. Do you have one? We're hides around my house. Do we get the move that they have against us? And if we really are good fathers, then we have to stand up and be ready to go to war. Remember, there's no revolution without bloodshed. If we're not willing to die for our young people to make their lives better, then what good are we? I close with this. The great prophet Bob Marley said, and I was speaking from Psalm 44, 1-8, I was supposed to be, and John 3:16-21, which, everybody loved that. For God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, for those who believe it in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And so last week, me and this guy was going down about, you have to ask for forgiveness. I said, man, the person they called Jesus, the Yeshua, didn't say you have to ask for forgiveness. That's not what he said. That ask for forgiveness, that's man-imposed stuff. That's indoctrination stuff. That's their ideology. That's what they put on you because they want you to never think that you're good enough. They don't want you to think that you have the ability to maximize your potential on the planet. And you don't have to keep stopping, turning back, doing. They say, forgetting the things behind. Remember, God says, I'm going to forgive your sins and remember your iniquities no more. But why have to keep on asking for forgiveness? If my sins been forgiven and my iniquities, he will remember no more. He didn't say ask for forgiveness. Once you in, you in. He says what he said that you have to do. It's a very simplistic formula. Very simplistic. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, for those who believe it in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. What's the formula? Belief. Period. And he says, for those, go out and preach the gospel and baptize them in the name of the Father, who believe, and baptize them. But he said, but them who believe it not. That's simple. They make it so complicated. Why? Because they don't want you to get it. Because if you get it, they're afraid you're not going to need them no more. If you don't need them no more, then they can't rape you and rob you for your money. They can't make you feel guilty and bad because you're not financing their lavish lifestyles. But now you're investing your time, your money, your effort into your community to make sure that the community be whole again. Return back to its original state. Am I making sense, y'all? I don't know if this was a good Father's Day message, but we as brothers, as fathers, we have a fiduciary responsibility to care about you women, because y'all, God gave us y'all, and we're supposed to protect you. We're not over you. We don't control you. I'm not hearing you there. We together. That over you, that you walk behind, all that old crap, that all been imposed by the slave master. Stop. If you believe that, please erase that out your hard drive right now, because that's all that is their foolishness. God made us a team, and when we work together as a team, remember, One can send 1,000 to flee, but two can send 10,000, 10 times more. So just think, if you and your mate is working in sync with each other, then no weapon formed against you will prosper. Do we get it? Do it make sense? So do we see that first to claim that we are some great fathers, to claim that we are men of valor, to claim that we are men of the Most High Creator, we have to understand that we are the representatives of the Most High Creator on the planet. We are the Christ. We are the anointed one. That's all Christ means, anointed one. We are the anointed one. But you know what they say about anything that you have, if you don't use it, what you do? You lose it. Are you willing to give yours up because you're afraid to use it because your enemy told you you're not worthy of using it? God bless you. God keep you. This is truly my prayer. Assalamu alaikum. Ashe. Peace. Namaste.